hello, and welcome to the show with Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday, and previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, that guy, James J., alongside the leader of Squash Squad, Kaliko Yachts.
Sorry, my stomach. I'm recovering from reading an affidavit.
And the American Scooter Dust, who will not be joining us tonight. It was a good week for Wrestling With, as I interviewed Murdoch on Tuesday and Chris Farrow on Wednesday. Two incredible interviews, two incredible individuals. Definitely go back into the archives and check those interviews out. Uh, this upcoming Tuesday, we have Gino I Told You So Rivera, a veteran of this business. We talk about having the vet card, um, his appearance on WWE SmackDown, and a hell of a lot more. You definitely want to check out that interview on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, the owner of We Are Wrestling, Pete Rosado, incredible individual. We talk all things We Are Wrestling, the championships, the potential tag team championships coming up, some interesting stories, including one about Drew McIntyre being his wingman. So you definitely want to check that out. But look no further. Here's some clips right now.
So I got stories for days with Hacksaw Jim Duggan also wanting to smoke weed with me, and I don't smoke. I don't do that. But this is a guy I watched on TV and idolized as a kid, and he's like, "Hey kid, do you smoke the reefer?" And I was like, "No sir." He goes, "All right, where's the bathroom?" And I said, "That way." He goes, "I'll be right back." So just wrestling has, yeah, exactly right. Wrestling has been one of the greatest things that has ever happened to me.
The best thing I could ever say in wrestling, Drew McIntyre, for one night, was my wingman.
Wow.
And it was the greatest thing in the world. It was the greatest thing in the world. But I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it, ladies and gentlemen, because Drew McIntyre as your wingman is still going to guarantee Drew McIntyre gets all the attention. No matter how good Drew McIntyre put me over, it was just like, but you're big, and you got the muscles, and you've got the beard and the hair and the accent and the. I don't care about him. Stop putting him over, Drew.
Right. And then on February 6th, we have Emily Locke. February 7th, we have Ted Sabin. The 13th is Betty Boa, and the 14th, Bryson Blade. I think we are done putting ourselves over. So, well, depending on who you ask, maybe it was a great day for wrestling, maybe it wasn't. Um, that's because we are wrestling with the news. Um, where should we start, Kaliko? Should we start about the big channel move of Monday Night Raw, or the allegations between Vince McMahon and more allegations on Vince McMahon?
Or The Rock taking over TKO. It's just been a whirlwind week.
Yeah. When you think it's going to be a slow week, and then literally like a hurricane comes and hits you in the face and says no. But that's pro wrestling.
Hold my drink. Hold my drink, bitch.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about the negative, and then we'll maybe get into the positive. Vince McMahon, new allegations of sexual misconduct and sex trafficking. Um, Rumor and innuendo suggest he was using employees of WWE as more or less prostitutes for the talent. One talent not necessarily being named, but you could kind of tell from how it was described that it was indeed Brock Lesnar. Whether these allegations are true, not true, to be seen, have yet to come to light. But when it
Oh
comes,
no, 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 no. Usually I let you get that point, but I was the guy that went in the foxhole and read this affidavit. Oh, that shit is mad true. It is so true. And the reason that I know it to be true, I've seen affidavits, but when they have a factual allegations and there are screenshots with conversations, yeah, yeah. I I don't know how graphic you need me to be in this. Should we go all the way in, or should we just leave it?
I
Should I go
mean,
all the way?
let's go all the way in.
Okay, fuck it. So, all right. Me, I do contracts for a reading, for a living, so I have to do a lot of reading. So I read this bitch. So I was skimming through it. So come to find out, this girl, she lost a lot of her family members, and she's trying to figure out what to do for a job. Vince used her to say, "Hey, we can get you a job," whatever, and used that as a sexual relationship. Upon being employed in that relationship, that's when Vince started putting the moves on her. So Vince is sitting up there having sex with her like crazy. A, he was recording it and taking pictures of it. B, he was sharing it with Tech Crew, and she knew he was sharing it with Tech Crew. C, she would send him pictures and stuff like that, and he would give critiques such as, "You need three black dicks next to you with your panties down." D, there was a situation in which he had a threesome with her. He defecated on her head and had her perform sexually with him during the threesome and after the threesome. John Laurinaitis, of all people, ended up getting into this, in which there was a situation at WWE headquarters in which they both put her in a room in an office and had a threesome with her and basically assaulted her without her consent. And then he tried to run it back by giving her $15,000 in Bloomingdale gift cards. He allegedly had names for his sex toy. F. He had allegedly names for his sex toys, where he would name sex toys after the bigger ones after black wrestlers, the smaller ones after Caucasian wrestlers. This nigga used her as a pawn to try to get Brock Lesnar to resign. Shall I continue this shit? And I mean, it was like a book. It was a book that just kept giving, sir. But all of it would be he said, she said, if it wasn't for the text screenshots.
Right.
That's where it gets you because you can't you can't just Photoshop shit like that. I mean, you could. However, when you sitting up there saying that Johnny wants her on Tuesdays, why would she make some shit like that up?
Well, I mean, it has been recorded in the past that Vince has some interesting taste when it comes to that area of life. And I'm
Oh,
being very polite with this.
it's bananas. And then not Stephanie, but Linda found out, and that's when he tried to fire her and give her the NDA, which is basically what the whole thing was. Then comes this is a part where Stephanie gets put into this. Because remember when Stephanie took over and she said she was going to be all serious and taking all these allegations seriously, and they were going to interview people and so on and so forth?
I wonder,
She was one of the people that was not interviewed.
of course.
But but the one thing that I notice with this is just that I'm like, I see why Stephanie left. That was the first thing when I read that. I was like, I get why she left.
Well,
I totally get why she left. I'd leave too.
I don't know what disturbs me more highly. That Brock Lesnar has a pee fetish, or that Vince and John Laurinaitis had three ways. Either way, I'm probably going to stab my eyes out tonight.
Oh no, I when I say I was sitting there like, I, I it was just like I could not stop reading. It was that damn crazy. Like I literally was just floored reading it. Like for people who sit up there and say it's he say she say, read that bitch. And you remember 3 weeks ago when Chris Jericho, when he was running his mouth and he tried to put himself in some shit, and
Oh
I
yeah.
said, "Pride's gonna be the death of you."
Yep.
Pride is the death of this motherfucker because he could have just stayed his ass in the back and didn't have to. And his arrogance fucks everybody over. His pride fucks everybody over because of the fact that when the first time this happened and they kicked his ass out, everybody was like, "Okay, just chill." But no, you force yourself back in it, sell the company, try to be an overlord of the company. Now this comes out. Now you got your sponsor pulling the day before your big four event.
Right.
Brock, God knows what the fuck's gonna happen. Laurinaitis is gonna have a crazy conversation with the Bella twins. Um, so when I say it was bananas, that thing is bananas. I implore people to read it. It's public record for those that like reading. Take a gander at it because it's 67 pages. Ain't nobody
Oh
making up
God.
sit. Yeah, yeah, it's about 67 pages. You ain't making up 67 pages worth of shit. Like, just saying. If it was like 10, maybe. But 67 with screenshots, and Brock is like in these screenshots, talking about that's your property. You know, if I got her, I'd wreck her. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I mean, the only question that needs to be asked right now is this the final nail in the Vince McMahon coffin, or is Vince McMahon just Nosferatu at this point, or he just rises from the dead every single time?
Oh no, 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 no. This is it because the problem is the way that the lawsuit is written. I don't know if they're going after them civilly or criminally or both. So, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But either way, when these screenshots come, these screenshots are all over the internet now. they're not going to touch him with a 10-foot pole, which kind of made sense when you look at the timing of Rock becoming head of TKO the day before the lawsuit came out.
So basically, they knew what was going to happen before it actually happened and got ahead of it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Because think about it. 124, Rock becomes head of TKO. 125, the allegations come out, the lawsuit. 126, he's gone.
If this was, just WWE as we know it, I would probably say he'd probably just get past it like he always
No,
does.
he can't. No, no.
But considering that there is a governing board at this point, the TKO, WWE board, there's a lot of boards ahead of him.
Yes.
At this point, so I mean, he can't just be the master at this point and there not being any repercussions. He's technically an employee at this point, and he is, replaceable at this point as well. Case in point, he's been
Mm-hmm.
replaced.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And that just kind of, the thing that got me with it is that this, this, he should have not even, the first time, he should have just let it roll. Love's gonna get you killed. Pride's gonna be the death of you. His ego was the enemy.
You're not wrong. And then, we have The Rock becoming a member of the board of WWE. Um,
Of TKO.
TKO. Potato, however you want to say it. Um, I never thought Triple H would be able to become the head of WWE. It was never even a thought in my head that The Rock would essentially be Triple H's boss in WWE, which is kind of the fact right now, no?
It is, but they had to replace him with somebody who was very likable.
That's it.
Uberly, not uberly likable. Because, I mean, The Rock, he just had a goddamn football league go under. So, yeah. But he's a motherfucker who can read the room and know when to apologize and move on. So I guess that's a good thing.
Did he need to
Um,
apologize for the football team?
I don't think he's apologizing for the football team, but I just think TKO needs to come out with something about this.
Well, I mean, it seems it's unseen to remain. We're not sure if he's able to actually step into this role and actually be competent at his job. Like you said, his football team went under. His movies haven't necessarily been doing great. Um, and I mean, you like his tequila. I think that still works for him.
Yeah, the tequila's popping. I ain't gonna knock on that.
So I mean, like, one out of three things that he's done has been working as of recently. So I guess that's good. Question mark.
He looks like Mother Teresa compared to what the fuck. He looks like Gandhi himself reincarnated when you read what the fuck Vince was doing.
Well, if TKO loses $63 million, we know who to fire, right?
True, but I mean, if you don't believe me, read that bitch. Just take a read. The first 20 pages was like, what the fuck?
Well,
But
yeah.
I didn't think what's his face had it in him though.
Laurinaitis?
I did not see that coming from
Oh God,
dead ass.
I was gonna do the voice, but like, no, that's not. No. Um, I'm sure The
It,
Rock becoming, the new board of directors member has nothing to do with Ava Rain becoming the new NXT general manager. No?
possibly. They ain't got nothing else for her.
Well, the last time I checked, she was an active competitor on NXT.
When was the last match she had?
I couldn't tell you the first match she had.
Thank you. So how active can you be?
Well, I mean, she was with Schism, and then those guys left.
Schism? Schism?
Yeah, Joe Gacy.
Schism. Yeah, schism. Schism.
Yeah,
Schism dism.
for Shizzle.
Or schism dism.
Well, what happens to Shawn Michaels now?
He's always been the backstage dude. I don't think he was ever really general manager.
I mean, people went to complain to him, so he kind of was. But as we saw, William Regal made his return to NXT as well.
I mean, uh, we'll see where it goes. But I think Sean always been like the back behind the scenes dude. And they just pulled his ass to the front because of goddamn what the hell is his name? Grayson Waller.
Hmm. All right. Now, keeping on news we did not expect to come out this week. Um, it was on Amazon Prime. Monday Night Raw on is now officially on Netflix. Starting January of 2025, it is the exclusive home of Monday Night Raw in America and all WWE content outside of the United States. Meaning it's basically um, Peacock, but on Netflix.
Hopefully without all the goddamn commercials.
This is true. We thought it was going to be Amazon Prime. What are your thoughts on it being on Netflix?
Um, Works for me because if you got T-Mobile, you get Netflix on them. So, no, no shade from me. Shit, I'm good.
Do you think?
But
Oh, continue. Yeah.
but I think it's going to be interesting to say because now with Peacock no longer That means the network is done.
Yeah,
So rest in peace to the network. Uh, hardly knew ye. Um,
we gave them shit, but they didn't have ads, and you could pick the matches you wanted to see.
yeah, you could literally just look up that match. I don't know why they got rid of it. I guess because they were expecting a certain amount of viewers or subscribers. But when you could share the fucking password, would I? Holy shit! Why? Uh, but it's okay. I mean, they could have did it like YouTube TV because YouTube TV they would uh you could share it with 6 people, and I think if they had to did it like $30 a month, that probably would have been worth it. Maybe can't guarantee it, but
Now, do you think that WWE is going to, well, Raw in the sense, is Raw going to maybe lose numbers? Or are they going to gain numbers that are casuals watching Netflix?
personally, I don't think numbers are a thing anymore.
I mean, if you want people to watch your show, obviously, if if Raw's in the is if Raw is being played in the woods, does anybody see it?
But the thing is, it's still raw, and I think they were trying to do that as a friction for people to get back on Netflix. Because not really, there's not a lot of things to go to Netflix for. Because keep in mind, they had raised the price, and then people were kind of pissed about it. Then you can share the password, and you know.
Right.
So now it's at a point where WWE could be that tool that get people back on board.
Going to be interesting to see how this actually works. As far as I know, you can't stream from Netflix, live. It's just on there. So that's something new. And again, it's gonna. How is talent going to react to something like this? Are they going to want to be on the show that maybe isn't going to be as seen as it's not going to be as seen as many as people on SmackDown, which is going to be on USA.
Uh, I can see that where it's adding that one. It's adding that one friction, that one work, extra work. Um, I just, I mean, Amazon went all in on the football, so I kind of figured they weren't going to do the wrestling
Fair enough.
because they had to put a lot of money just to get that live stream prime for what 18 games, 16, well 16 to 18 games a week the season, and they got the ability to flex. So that was a thing. So I knew they weren't going to do that, and I think they were in the running for basketball too. So I mean, if Netflix maybe is trying to find something new with the streaming live, it's going to be interesting how they handle commercial breaks though. So that to me, or how does it work with any archives of the WWE as far as the library? Um, Are they going to own that library? Are they going to give access to that library?
Well, I mean, I don't think they're going to. Oh, you mean whatever is on there, whatever is
Mm-hmm.
filmed on there. Well, I imagine that's
Mm-hmm.
property of WWE.
Right. So like, let's keep in mind they're not in the what's his face game anymore. They're not in the DVD game anymore.
This is true.
So you see what I'm saying? And so it's just a matter of
And you don't necessarily have to abide by TV constraints anymore either. Could we see Raw be rated R?
that is the thing everyone is hoping for. I just don't. It's going to be hard to just flip that on a switch.
Not. Uh, I'm not gonna say the first episode on Netflix. They're going to say fuck and they're going to show titties, but you know they have the freedom at this point if they want to. Down the line, right?
I think they'll break. I think they'll get to the line. I just don't think they'll go over the line.
Keep in mind, this is also the same company that had a live sex celebration on regular broadcast TV. Well, cable.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how all of this plays out. One person that won't be on Raw doing commentary, and that is Kevin Patrick, as it's reported that he actually, well, first he was taken off commentary for SmackDown. Everybody kind of knew that, but now they're saying that he also left the company. Um, Honestly, he stayed on commentary a lot longer than he should have, and I never really thought he was good at his job. Maybe he was liked by the people backstage. That's great, but that doesn't necessarily make him great to listen to on commentary. Um,
Hmm.
what say you, Kaliko?
He was more of a soccer voice than a wrestling voice. And I heard he's going to soccer, so there you go.
Oh, well, that explains that. Who takes his place?
That is a good question because Corey Graves is still on
SmackDown.
SmackDown. So you got to find someone who has that chemistry. Michael Cole's gone. Um,
Mike Cole's on Raw, but he's subbing for Patrick for the time being.
I mean, I kind of wish it was Mauro Ranallo
I was kind of feeling the same.
because the culture that he's going into now is not the culture he was in earlier.
Right.
Um, I still felt like I think him and Graves would be good.
Graves
And
was one of the problems that uh, was one of the issues he had in the first place. Graves may have said some things that Ronaldo didn't necessarily take lightly, but and that's kind of one of the reasons he left at that time was Graves. So can you really trust Corey Graves to bite his lip when it comes to Ronaldo?
He's gonna have to. But he's gonna have to, in a nutshell. I mean, uh, and plus, it's not like Morrow's got anything to do because boxing is practically gone from as far as on Showtime, which was boxing's gone from Showtime and boxing's gone from HBO. ESPN, I think, is the only spot doing boxing, and they're barely doing it. Maybe Fox, but yeah, he's gonna need a spot if he wants to keep announcing.
Could you put Wade Barrett with Ronaldo and Michael Cole with Graves?
You could, but then why wouldn't they just move Cole and Graves?
What do you mean?
They would have just moved. Like if they knew that they were gonna do that, they would have just moved both of them.
I mean, right now we're looking for a replacement. Nothing is, set in stone yet. We're just speculating that it could be Ronaldo, not necessarily confirmed.
Oh no, I'm saying if they were going to keep Cole and Graves together, they would have just moved them both to Raw.
I see what you mean. But I mean, uh, nothing's set in stone. I mean, we could. Who's the alternatives here? I mean, we could get JBL back. I don't think
No, because you need someone who,
a face.
not even a face, but someone who can actually, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Convey what is going on in the ring, right?
Right.
So JBL would be more in the Corey Graves role. You need somebody who's, I mean, like a Kevin Kelly. I mean, that's
No, you're exactly right.
right. Like
Yeah.
that part. The wrestling part is a given. Um, I'm trying to think of some names. Maybe Vic Joseph gets promoted with Booker T. I don't know because I feel like that chemistry kind of works.
He got
Um,
demoted to NXT.
and then I'm trying to think of who else they had.
I don't know what his contractual status is, but what about an Ian Riccaboni?
I mean, they could. Um, but considering SmackDown's going to be in USA in 2025, they got time to figure that out. Um, I'm just trying to think who would it be? Who could be the person that plays it straight? I mean, no, not Joe, not yeah. It's a shortage. I'm literally trying to think that up. Like who could do it? The first thing that came to my mind was Morrow, but
Right.
um, damn. Uh, I mean, unless they're bringing back old buddy,
I mean,
unless they're bringing back Michael Cole, and
I don't think anybody wants to hear uh, that Jackie girl doing commentary.
Nah. I'm just trying to figure out why they got rid of him. Is that bad?
It wasn't exactly great.
Was it the accent?
I wouldn't say the accent. Maybe it played a little bit into it, but he just seemed to
Because the
be.
accent kind of gives like he wasn't enthusiastic.
He was too enthusiastic, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, it's
But
like
to have enthusiasm, gotta be enthusiastic.
there's a difference between too much enthusiasm and not enough. And he definitely had way too much enthusiasm. He didn't really fight back when Corey Graves shot him jabs. He was kind of just existing rather than being being in the moment and with the commentary team, if that makes sense.
I mean, I get it. I'm trying to. I can't even think of it, man. I mean,
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily mind seeing Chatty Kelly on commentary.
no. Kevin Kelly would probably be the better.
A Kelly, but not a Tati.
Yeah, not a cat.
And I believe that's
Yeah.
all they have right now. Oh, I mean, Saxton is still backstage.
Who?
Byron Saxton.
But once again, he's kind of like the wrestler side, the color.
I mean, he was enthusiastic like Patrick, but he shot it back to Graves when he needed to. I mean, he was
Mm.
basically Kevin Patrick without the accent.
But he was also too cheeky.
Maybe. It seems like they have a lot of options, and but nothing's internal. They're gonna have to reach out to somebody. Is that kind of how you feel as well?
Yeah.
Would it be um a complete slap in the face to Tony Khan if they hired Ariel Hawani?
Mm. Oh no.
Well, going on to another company that is not WWE, um, a different type of TNA wrestling. Um,
from from TNAs to TNAs.
um, uh, who's the president? Scott Demore. There we go. Scott Demore did an interview and he basically said that they believe that TNA could get back on broadcast TV. Um, if that's the case, and they do actually get onto broadcast TV again, where the hell do they go?
That is a good question.
CW would have been fantastic for them if NXT didn't eat that up. WWE
I
got
mean,
USA
C
channel. Yep.
CW.
NXT is going to be on CW in October.
Well, there you go. PBS.
TBS has an
No,
AEW.
PBS, like Arthur, nigga.
Oh,
You got PBS, you got, um, well, it ain't gonna be ESPN. I mean,
would Paramount
eh,
take another chance on TNA?
no, because they just spent money to get the Big Ten,
The Big Ten.
Big Ten football games. Because
So
they had the SEC for 25 years as football games, and now they got the Big Ten. And the Big Ten, and for its part, the SEC is going to ESPN. So it's a lot of moving network partners around now when it comes to sports. Um, I'm thinking Apple, maybe. Um,
what about
they
Sci-Fi?
could. Who?
Sci-Fi.
Owned by USA though. Owned by the people that owns USA.
Hmm. Okay. Fair enough.
So it. I'm trying to think of one. I was just about to say one and it tipped my tongue.
FX.
Maybe FX. Something like an FX, a Prime, possibly, but it wouldn't be live. I know they're on YouTube TV, but they play like the replays and shit.
Does Pop
I think
still exist?
you say what?
Does Pop still exist?
Pop. I could not tell you. I Pop TV. I doubt it.
This sounds completely and utterly insane,
Oh yeah, they are. Pop TV is still available.
but would you think that TNT would drop AEW in favor of TNA?
No, and MTV. They're desperate.
Only if they're 16 and pregnant. TNA.
Or Celebrity Deathmatch. Um, yeah, it's hard. It's gonna be hard to find them on TV hole. I mean, they used to be on Access,
They still
right?
are on Access.
Well, then that's about as good as you're gonna get
Love the
because
one you're with.
they're not pulling in the peep. I mean, they're starting to. Not saying that they're not, but they're just starting that groove. So they got to make sure that groove's sustainable first, right? So that's the biggest part.
Yeah, doesn't seem like there's a lot of, yeah, not a lot of options. Talking, continuing on, not a lot of options, AEW is bringing back the ranking system. I'm sure you're incredibly ecstatic about that, right?
Oh man, yeah, I'm aesthetically happy. Uh, it, I think they want that anyway because he's always been about that New Japan system. Sound like he wants to be New Japan America.
Even though there is a New Japan America.
Exactly.
And the last time I checked, I wasn't even aware that they got rid of the ranking system.
They did. Loki. How else would Deanna Perrazzo show up and get a title shot day one?
Hmm. Did she know?
Yeah, she's facing Tony Storm for the title.
And then she goes into obscurity for a couple of months. Then she'll challenge Julia Hart for the the TBS championship. She'll lose to her, and then she'll go down to Ring of Honor, and drop to Athena as well.
Pretty much.
Yep. I mean, if they actually do stick to, okay, if this guy is number one in the ranks, he gets a title shot. Number two gets a title shot. If
Or a
some
title
ran,
eliminator. Title eliminators would help big time.
if there isn't some random jabroni Joe coming out of nowhere and just getting a title shot out of the blue when he wasn't even ranked, like we did see in past with AEW, then maybe it will actually work. But that's a
Yeah,
big maybe.
big maybe.
I don't know. It is
But
a
with all these belts, they got to figure out who is where.
right,
So you got to figure out where these people stand. Shit.
right, and I mean AEW is a lot different than it was 5 years ago. So who knows? We'll see how that actually works out. All right,
Yeah, that's
and then we have um, Bully Ray was doing, I think he was doing Busted Open Radio, uh, and was maybe hinting at the possibility of the Dudley Boys and AEW. Um, Max Caster replied, sent a tweet out to Bully Ray saying, "You have to pay a lot of dues if you want to come into AEW." I like
yeah.
Max. I like the Acclaim. But who the fuck does Max Caster to tell Bubble Ray Dudley that he has to pay dues to come into AEW?
Mr. Scissor Me Daddy ass, right? Ain't that
Yep,
y'all boy? Ain't that y'all boy?
yeah,
So yeah, that's why. That's why he thinks he can do it.
because he's under Billy Gunn.
Yeah. I mean, be quite honest. But then again, they're over. But then again, what would the Dudley boys benefit from being there?
But I believe he was teasing, you know, one more altercation with the Hardys and Edge and Christian.
Oh gosh, please help us.
I mean, that wouldn't necessarily suck.
Wouldn't necessarily be awesome as well. Don't get me wrong. I am a Dudley Boys fan. I personally think they are the best tag team, point blank, period, in our lifetimes.
Right.
I just don't think they have nothing else to prove.
It's not necessarily having anything to prove, but getting one of getting one more payday and working with your friends.
I mean, I don't think. Why would they need the payday? I mean, Bubba's lost a lot of weight, and he's on Busted Open, so he's pretty set.
But he also works for TNA. So not a lot of cash flow.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I give him that. But I mean, I personally think that they wouldn't do it in the WWE because of the simple fact that it seems to be wild wild west over there.
To say the least.
So who's gonna listen to him?
Well,
It,
from people almost on walkers to somebody that's 100% on a walker, Hulk Hogan. He made a video not too long ago teasing that he maybe has one more in him and that he will be in the Royal Rumble later today, taking on 29 other men, brother, tossing them over the rope, brother, and headlining one more WrestleMania, brother, with Roman freaking Reigns, brother.
and then he needs to wake the fuck up, brother. Just saying.
Well, I mean, we've been talking about, the
Which one?
possibility of Rock versus Roman at Mania, Cody versus Roman at Mania. We've never stopped to think about Roman versus Hulk Hogan. I believe Roman ties Hulk Hogan for the most WrestleMania main events this year.
Good. And
And we're gonna not.
I'm trying to figure out what relevance because they got shit to do with Hogan trying to win the Royal Rumble and get the fucking Mania.
I mean, it would make more sense than The Rock winning at this point.
No, it will not.
I mean, now that
Because
The
at
Rock,
least The Rock came back and was like, yeah, what do you think? But you know what's funny? What if people thought he was talking about the head of the table and he meant that head of the table?
right, exactly. He did say that he takes his seat at the table during the press conference, so maybe that's what he was alluding to.
There goes our Rock Roman hope. But hey, y'all get to see Cody finish the story with Roman that never really was the story with Roman, but okay.
Hey, Cody gets to finish the story, and that's what I'm happy about.
Hey, more power to you, sir.
Yeah. We're probably not going to get Brock versus Gunther anymore, but
I mean,
I mean, if
Brock doesn't. It ain't like Brock comes and shows his ass up, for the whole storyline.
you're not wrong, but it's
I can see.
also Brock's never had allegations on him, so there's that as well. So you don't necessarily want to get feature somebody that's going to have a lawsuit on their hands.
I mean, he's already. I don't think there's. She's suing. He's not in the lawsuit. He's mentioned in the lawsuit. Two different things.
Was his name specifically mentioned, or was he just alluded to?
Alluded to, because the alluded to was a former the alluded to was mentioned in the form of a former UFC heavyweight champion and WWE superstar.
Well, that could have been Ronda Rousey.
I'm pretty sure Ronda Rousey wasn't a former UFC heavyweight champion.
Well, we've taken off the gender of titles nowadays, so she kind of technically is.
Bro, in the UFC, they got weight classes for a goddamn reason.
And I've always said, never. I I thought no, far too well. Never ask a woman her weight.
Yeah, because they'll show it to you.
All right. Um, I think we're done with the news. Unless there's something you want to bring to the table.
Um, Jesus. With all of this happening, congratulations to Cody, Rhea, and Bianca for being on the cover of WWE 2K24 that just popped up this week.
And if 2K24 actually has what I think it has, and that is matches and moments from the the last 40 years of WrestleMania, then I
Oh
might
yeah, they
actually.
have it. It's three covers. So there's three different covers. You have the standard cover, which is Cody. The deluxe cover is Rhea and Bianca. And then the special cover is 40 years of WrestleMania.
But I'm saying to actually play those matches over.
Yeah. Yeah, they're really good at that. I think 2K is good at that part.
I might actually play this time around. It's been a hot minute since I've bought a WWE video game, so
Because they are always like when with the WWE when they do the story parts, it's legit.
yes.
So,
But I mean, that was even back to the 2K, the THQ days.
oh yeah,
I want to say 13 was arguably the best one.
I think Punk was the cover.
It was the Attitude Era one.
I'm trying to think, but wasn't he on the cover?
Yeah, 13.
Yeah,
All roads lead back to CM Punk.
I mean he's Kevin Bacon.
That he is. Alright, that will conclude the news in this episode as a whole. Um, Join us next week as we have a full review of WWE Royal Rumble. Has
Who was
Cody finished
sponsored by, however,
low key?
the
Um,
wrestler? He sponsored the Royal Rumble. Oh shit! I be damned. That's all he had to do.
Join us. Will has Cody finished the story or gotten closer to? Um, did The Rock fuck it up? Did Hulk Hogan win? We don't know, but it is later today. Check it out. Um, and yeah. Until then, um, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, but on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Wolf Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us this Tuesday as we interview Gino I Told You So Rivera. This Wednesday as we interview the owner of We Are Wrestling, Pete Rosado. And then obviously Saturday is the full review of Royal Rumble. You can follow the show at Wrestling with E, but on X, Thread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. You can follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can we find Kaliko?
I am Kaliko, and shout out to the Kabuki Warriors, their new tag team champs. Further cementing Bailey about to get her ass kicked out. Poor Bailey.
For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hey, folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show. Support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.